I've got one of my puzzle pieces open right now, and I'd like you to open up the same part. This is part C. It's going to be the easiest one for us to work on. And before we get started with adding some cam to our part, we're going to need to create a origin for use for our cam software. So if we go to Features and we go to Reference Geometry up here, we can create a coordinate system or our own work origin versus the origin of the part perhaps. So if I click on Coordinate System and I select this corner right here, I can then select my x-axis and my y-axis, and if yours is the same as mine, we're good to go. Our z is going up. That would be positive y, positive x. Notice that you can flip these if it's pointing in the wrong direction. All right, so I'm all set. I'm going to hit OK, and I've got coordinate system 1. We're now ready to go into the CAM software, which is over here, and start our job. Click on Job. It's going to be a milling job. We don't need to worry about that. For coordinate system, the default, it's selected coordinate system 1. We want to make sure that is what we select. Notice my origin is right up there. And then for size, we're going to say relative size box, no additional stock. What that means is our stock is the size of our part. And if you remember, we've already milled these blanks to 4 inches long by 1 by 1 blocks, so we're ready to go. Our stock size is the same. Occasionally you would add material for the stock. So we hit OK. Now we get to the fun part. We're going to actually do some toolpaths. The toolpath that we're going to select is a 2D adaptive clearing toolpath. So first we need to pick a tool, and I'm going to give you guys access to these tools, our Tormach mill tools, and we want to go to tool number 17 and hit select. 3/8 end mill. The next tab in here is our geometry. We're going to deselect machine cavities. We're going to select down here for our contours. Come back up here, select these two. These two are our boundaries essentially, and this is the area that we want to machine. So make sure that these two faces represent these. We're good here. We're going to move on. We need to tell it how deep we want it to cut. What's the bottom of the cut? And this is where I was talking about making sure that your model is accurate. So I'm going to go from selection, and I'm actually going to select the bottom of my notch that I'm putting in here. The next tab is going to determine whether we want to leave any material for finish machining. For this project, we're just going to take it all out. We're going to not leave any stock. Okay. This tells us how aggressive our cut is. If we were cutting aluminum or steel, we would change these, but for the plastic, I think we could get away with this cut. So we're okay. And we can leave these alone right here. If we hit OK, it's going to generate our tool path, and we're going to get a little picture here of the lines that the tool is actually going to take. Now, this is where the tool is going to come in, and it's going to come out over here. You can see the little arrows. So we want to make sure that this part is sitting in our vise above, enough of it's above so that it doesn't come in and plow into our vise. So we're going to need to get a set of parallels and have this thing sitting way up above the part, or excuse me, above the jaws of the vise. I'm going to go to stock simulation. I know this is going to play quickly, so I'm going to dial this down to a slow speed. If you haven't seen CAM software previews before, they're kind of fun. You hit play, shows us what our bit's going to do. It's going to come in there and make one pass. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. And you can rotate it even while it's cutting here. Take a look coming in from the back side of the part. And that's it. Now, if we're happy with our preview, and there's two ways to look at it. We can go to our stock simulation and use this simulation. This one's a little bit different. It just shows the lines of the tool. Again, we can play the speed back. It shows each one of those lines cutting through. We're happy with that. We're going to go ahead and save this. Don't forget to save your changes. Now, the Tormach does not accept a SolidWorks file. It's looking for G-code. So we're going to select our toolpath. We're going to go up to post-process here, and we want to make sure we have the right post-processor. Right now I'm on my lathe post-processor. I want to go down to Tormach Path Pilot, make sure I have the right post-processor, and then where I'm going to put it is I'm going to put it right into my folder. So CNC puzzle, open, and I'm going to hit post. It's going to give me this, which is my G-code. Screen's going to fill up with the actual G-code to show me what it looks like. I can close out of that, and that's it. I'm ready to go ahead and cut part C.